much. Last but not least, judge bars federal prosecutors from seeking the death penalty against Luigi Mangione. Woke! Live visibility. All right, thank you, TikTok, for reducing my live visibility. Woke. Woke has hit, chat. We have hit woke. Judge bars death penalty. Federal prosecutors can't seek the death penalty against Luigi Mangione and the killing of United Healthcare CEO Brian Thompson. By the way, fuck this guy. Ever since I started working like in pharmaceuticals section, fuck this guy. Fuck all these CEOs of all these Medicare healthcare systems. Genuinely, they fucking hate you, by the way. I don't think you understand how much insurance companies hate you until you work there. Like, work within the system. They genuinely will deny scripts for any fucking reason. And then it takes, like, a week to get it approved. For zero reason. They could literally just hit the big red approve button. Some of the most evil people out there. Yeah, they literally are. Like, life dependent on life medication. There was this one patient who needs this medication every day. She's needed it for like the last 5 years, and since it's a new year, they need the doctor to write in, hey, can you tell us that the patient still needs this? It's a lifelong condition. The patient will always need this medication. Nothing's going to change. They will have to stay on this medication for the rest of their life, or they will die. And the insurance company will not approve it without a prior authorization from the doctor. Somehow, in the span of a month, this person's like lifelong condition just got cured. Margaret Garnett dismissed. Yeah, genuinely. Actually, I was like, my jaw was on the fucking floor, dude. Irritating as fuck. Margaret Garnett dismissed federal murder charge that enabled prosecutors to seek capital punishment, finding it technically flawed. She wrote that she did so to foreclose the death penalty as an available punishment to be considered by the jury as it weighs whether to convict Mangione. Which, we don't know if Mangione is going to get convicted yet, chat. Dude, he's such a... Garnett also dismissed the gun charge, but left in place stalking charges that carry a maximum punishment of life in prison to seek the death penalty. By the way, no, what's it called? Paparazzi will ever get stalking charges. To seek the death penalty, prosecutors needed to show that Mangione killed Thompson while committing another crime of violence. Stalking doesn't fit that definition, Garnett wrote in her opinion, citing case law and legal precedents. In a win for prosecutors, Garnett ruled that they can use evidence collected from his backpack during his arrest, including a 9mm handgun and a notebook in which authorities say Mangione described his intent to whack an insurance executive. Mangione's lawyers have sought to exclude those items, arguing the search was illegal because police hadn't yet obtained a warrant. That's going to be big. If this gets off on a mistrial, that's going to be huge. During a Friday hearing, Garnett gave prosecutors 30 days to update her on whether they'll appeal her death penalty decision. A spokesperson for the U.S. Attorney's Office in Manhattan, which is prosecuting the federal case, declined to comment. Acknowledged that the decision may strike the average person, indeed many lawyers and judges, as tortured and strange, and the result may seem contrary to our intuitions about criminal law, but she said it reflected her committed effort to faithfully apply the dictates of the Supreme Court to the charges in this case. The law must be the court's only concern. Mangione, 27. It's so weird. He's only 4 years older than me. It's insane how much, he's barely older than me. Garnett acknowledged the decision. Yeah. Outside the court afterward, Mangione attorney Karen Friedman Agnifilo said her client and his defense team were relieved by the incredible decision. Issued a written warning, prosecutors retained the right to appeal, but said they were ready to proceed to trial. Jury selection of the federal case is set for September 8th, following by open statements testimony October 13th. State's trial date hasn't been set. On Wednesday, the Manhattan District Attorney Office urged the judge in the case to schedule a July 1 or July 1st trial date. In case none of my concern, state's trial hasn't been set. Oh, okay. Because he has a federal and then a state case. That case is none of my concern, Garnett said, adding that she would process if the federal case is still in case, unless she hears formally from parties involved in the state case. She has also said the federal case will be paused if the government appeals her death penalty ruling. Police say delay, deny, depose were written on the ammunition, mimicking the phrase used by critics to decide how insurers avoid paying claims. Like, dude, like insurance companies want you to pay egregious amounts of money, by the way. I don't think I can explain to you. Like, I see patients. I saw a patient recently. They needed to take heart medication, like to make sure their heart doesn't like fuck up and die, so they don't end up dying. And insurance refused to cover it. Flat out refused to cover it. The person had to pay $1,000 for their medication. Ivy Lee, or Mangini, an Ivy League graduate from a wealthy Maryland family, was arrested 5 days later at McDonald's in Altoona, Pennsylvania, about 230 miles west of Manhattan. Attorney General Pam Bondi ordered Manhattan federal prosecutors last April to seek the death penalty against Mangione. It was the first time the Justice Department sought the death penalty in President Donald Trump's second term. Despite seeing the death penalty rejected on the grounds, Garnett cited Mangione's lawyer argued that Bondi's announcement flouted the long-established Justice Department protocols and was based on politics, not merit. He said her remarks followed by posting her Instagram account and TV appearance. Genuinely psychotic that private insurance is legal. They're literally killing God knows how many people every year with zero repercussions. I mean, they got a repercussion here. Indelibly prejudiced the grand jury process, resulting in an indictment weeks later. Prosecutors urged Garrett to keep the death penalty on the table, arguing that the charges were legally sound and Bondi's remarks were prejudicial, as pretrial publicity, even when intense, is not itself a constitutional deficit. Or defect. Deficit. What the defendant recast as constitutional crisis is merely repackaging of argument rejected in previous cases, prosecutor says. None words dismissal of the indictment. The federal government is handling the Mangione case so poorly that I do think he's going to get off of it with literally nothing. No punishment at all is going to come to Mangione. I think this happened as well. Yeah, man impersonating FBI agent tried to get Luigi Mangione out of jail, authorities say. It is crazy that Diddy, Mangione, and Modero are all in the same jailhouse. We're all in the same federal jailhouse. Man claiming to be an FBI agent showed up at the federal jail in New York City on Wednesday night and told officers he had a court order to release Luigi Mangione. Authorities says he's now locked up there too. Dude, Mark Anderson, bro. Arrest disclosed last year in court papers that he suffers from mental illness, was arrested and charged with impersonating a federal officer in a foiled bid to free Mangione from the Metropolitan Detention Center. Mangione is being held at the notorious Brooklyn jail while awaiting state and federal murder trials. I like how they won't say state and federal murder trials in the alleged killing of United Healthcare. But then we'll say, like, oh, Trump is alleged to do X, Y, and Z. Anderson was ordered held without bail after initial appearance Thursday in Brooklyn federal court. He was not required to enter a plea. A day after getting stopped at the entrance, he is now jailed at the Metropolitan Detention Center, according to federal prison records. In a lawsuit last year alleging injuries from a Falls City homeless shelter, Anderson said he has multiple disabilities. It has been ruled by the Social Security Administration to be fully disabled because of mental illness. He has no money, said he received state and federal assistance. According to public records, Anderson had numerous drug, alcohol-related arrests. Oh yeah, this guy was just like... Why does that kind of look like Matt Pat? This guy has like a bunch of shit going on in his head. But still, like, funny none the fucking less. Like, at all. Like, or nonetheless, like, this is still, it's kind of a little funny thing in relation to Luigi. Man had paper signed by a judge and a pizza cutter. I hate to laugh, but like, dude, we're going in to break out Luigi Mangione. We're bringing the pizza wheel, baby. Authorizing a specific person in custody of the jail. When officers asked for his federal credentials, Anderson showed them a Minnesota driver's license through documents at them and claimed to have weapons. Criminal complaints said the documents appeared related to filing claims against the Justice Department, according to the FBI agent who viewed them and prepared the complaints. Officers searched Anderson's bag and found a barbecue fork and a circular steel blade. Oh, do they have photos of the complaint? That's hilarious. No. This was Anderson, not Mangione. He was gonna go break out the pizza man. Yeah. He was breaking out the pizza man. He moved to New York for a job opportunity, started working at a Bronx pizzeria. Bro, he stole the pizza cutter from the Bronx pizzeria and then went to break out Luigi with it, bro. This guy, handwritten lawsuits against the Pentagon, Chinese and Russian ambassadors, and the Minnesota Police Department, all of which have been thrown out. Another lawsuit alleging Bronx Pizzeria forced him to work 70 hours a week with no overtime is still pending. Dude, this guy, man. A celebrate people upset with the health insurance industry. Mangione attracted legion of supporters. Some of regularly turned up at his court appearances, donning green clothing, color worn by Mario Brothers. Thank you, AP News. The color worn by the Mario Brothers, video game character Luigi. It is really amazing how everyone's on Luigi's side. Yeah, no shit, dude. Everybody hates health insurance. That's why even Republicans have to say that they're against health insurance companies when they obviously are for them. There is a reason behind this. Actually mind-boggling sometimes. I'm hoping nothing but the best for my boy Luigi. I heard he's a pretty nice guy in prison, actually. Like, he's pretty respectable little guy inside the prison scene.